Yeah, hello guys, I'm Josh and I welcome you to this channel. And please, if you are new on this channel, then you want to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button so you don't miss out on the valuable contents we share here every single time. So please hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button and let's just ride together. Today I want to share something very interesting, and that is the challenges of adulthood and how to manage it. Okay, but I think this was triggered by something I read yesterday. There was this lady who shared on her story or her status on WhatsApp, and it was talking about the scam of adulthood, how it promises so much freedom, and yet when it's time to have all the freedom, now you have to cater for yourself and do all sorts of things, and you are not even as free as you wished or expected that you're going to be. So she called it the scam of adulthood. Quite interesting. Now, interestingly, this is something I gave my mind to think about years back, more than 6 years now. I think when I was in the university, I thought about this demand of adulthood, and it helped me to really do some necessary things at that stage. You see, one of the things I've noticed about nature is that when there is a seeming advantage or pleasant thing up ahead, nature understands the tendency of human being to take things to the extreme and abuse anything that looks good and advantageous. So because of that, nature has a way of creating this bridle. Some caution, something that will caution you from going to the extreme when this advantage of this pleasant situation shows up, okay, and becomes available to you. And what do I mean by that? You see, when we're younger and we didn't have to think about fending for ourselves, we have people fending for us, we have parents, we have elderly ones and people we're depending on. We didn't have to bother about feeding and all of that. All the while we're wishing that someday when I have the freedom of this, like this elderly person, I will do anything I want to do, and many fantastic things we had in our mind, funny things we wish that we're going to do when we became adults. Eventually we become free like we wished to be. But then something else will be there to caution us. Even while the elderly ones might not be there to put pressure on you or restrain you from doing the things you would want to do, there is now a sense of responsibility. You now need to fend for yourself, you need to fend for those who are now depending on you, and that sense of responsibility just naturally puts in you the sense of discipline, and you still will not do everything you would have wished to do when you were younger. So I think it's just God's merciful provision in nature just to caution man. Humans just have this tendency to take things to the extreme and abuse situations. So I think we should just be grateful for this cautioning here and there that helps bridle our tendency to abuse privileges, advantages, and pleasant things, right? I intend sharing managing the challenges of adulthood. Whether or not we like it, as adulthood sets in many kind of challenges and many seemingly difficult situations, burdensome situations would arise. Some by default, some because we made some mistakes at some points. Some are just natural responsibilities here and there. And like I said, I gave a thought to this some years back, and these were the product of my thoughts. I thought about humans. There are just different stages. We have a stage of total dependence, people taking care of every single one of our needs. When we're toddlers, people will bath for us, people will just do everything. Then gradually we start developing this sense of responsibility. Now it got to a point at the adolescent stage and a youthful stage, we could now take a bath for ourselves, we could do many other things, yet we were still depending on some people who would take care of us. Okay, now on and on, more and more sense of responsibility are coming upon us, but in spite of all of this, we still had a high level of freedom at the adolescent stage and during a youthful age, such that we could do many things. We didn't have to spend so much time fending for ourselves and making a living. So there is just so much freedom. All of this time looks like free time that we had to squander. And if you are not very careful, you will think all the times are just so much in excess and they were meant for squandering. And if you are not so wise as a youth, you might spend it lavishing it, clubbing and spending them on frivolities. But eventually when adulthood sets in, all of those times you had wasted, you will regret it, because those times of relative freedom to do anything were not just there for fun. They were not just there for nothing. They were there to be utilized to gather strength, invest in yourself, so that someday up ahead when adulthood sets in, where you now have to cater for some other person's cater for yourself, as a family man or a family woman. Now some other people are depending on you, and some other responsibilities of life start to show up. The strengths you have built up in your youthful age and adolescent stage will be required of you, okay, in the face of all of these things. And so you see some people who, in spite of all of these seeming demands, they are still living fine and happy. Why? Because they spent time at their youthful stage developing themselves, investing in themselves, and building the right virtues needed to handle the demands of adulthood. Paying attention to financial literacy and freedom, paying attention to mental development, developing themselves in different aspects of life. And now when the demands of adulthood sets in, they just seem so prepared. You see, one of the instances when I had this kind of understanding on a much deeper level was some time back. Like I said, in the university I used to do some exercise, okay, and I would lift weight, right? And one of the houses I lived then, we used to fetch water from a well. And then it got to a time after I had been lifting weights, one day I was to use the drawer to fetch water. It felt so light, like there wasn't water inside. It felt so light, like there was nothing. Now before then it used to be a little heavy, right? And then suddenly now it feels so light. Nothing has changed about the drawer, but because strength had been built in my arms, it felt as light as nothing. And that's how it is in real life, such that when you have built enough strength in your youthful age in different respects, when adulthood sets in, the various demands of family and different demands of life, because you've had enough strength built in you, you had enough investment made in you, even in the face of these demands, they would still seem much lighter than that of some other guy who squandered his youthful age on frivolities and partying and clubbing, who then spend it investing in himself. Now to manage a family will seem like a Herculean task. To cater for the needs of the people that depend on him seem like something just so difficult. Why? Because strength had not been built beforehand. But as for you, if you will just get this truth and start making investment in different respects towards preparing for adulthood, you will put yourself at a very advantageous position, and regardless of the demands of adulthood, you will just be fit and we can still enjoy life. I personally believe God has not made life such that we'll be miserable and struggling here and there. Somehow he wants us to identify some principles and apply these principles, and if we apply them, we can enjoy our childhood, enjoy adolescence, enjoy youthful age, when we just pay attention to the right principles and enjoy our adulthood. Kindly just pay attention to that. Let's build a beautiful society of happy people. Now if this video has helped you, kindly hit the like button. You'll be promoting this channel by doing so. And if you are new on this channel, you want to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button, so you'll be one of the first persons to be notified as soon as a new video hits this channel. So once again, my name remains Alan Josh, and I'm going to be right back again in my next video. Have a great time.